Hey guys, I'm James on occasion, and today we're playing Elspeth Von Draken, because I hadn't got around to it yet, and you know how much I love the Empire. So here we are. Elspeth, lovely, new patch. There's been a new patch. There's a couple of things that are very interesting about it. So playing very hard. I'm also going to turn on all of the crisis stuff, which I never tend to play with. But here I think it might be fun. I'm also going to put the timer down a little bit. Let's go 70, 120. Now these two are new with this patch. This is a 6.2 patch. So yeah, a couple of new units and then a few other bits and bobs. It'll be fun. But these two things, the big things. These are the big like AI betas basically that they did, that you could opt into over the last few months. They have implemented them. One of them will be on by default, which is the AI strength and threat assessment. This is the behavior that we had when we played the Grom the Paunch campaign a few months ago. So this I really like. It makes the AI way better. Just it makes them act more coherent and interesting, and they actually launch an invasion rather than just sending stacks at you whenever they happen to be ready, just like straight off the production line straight into your territory to die. Now they'll actually sit tight for a bit, gain a few stacks, and then invade with all of them, and it feels much better. It's much more interesting, leads to much more strategy and depth, and sometimes you're being forced to give ground in order to get the advantage in the next settlement. It's really interesting. There's a lot more push and pull, and it's just a lot better, frankly. So I really enjoy that. It makes it far less predictable. I can't just play this in my sleep anymore. I have to actually do things that feel like make sense for the world we're in. Guard choke points and things. I can't just leave my borders open knowing that they'll conquer so slowly that I can come back to them after I've conquered the other neighbour. You actually have to be more careful now, which is really cool. And also this was the second beta that I never actually installed or played, but it sounds like it was designed for me especially. When checked, minor factions will make better campaign decisions, increasing their tendency to survive longer and have bigger impact on campaigns. I love the minor factions. I think that my biggest gripe with this game, with its sort of default behaviour, is that all the minor factions just get absorbed into others. They get confederated or conquered so quickly that the variety that makes this game so brilliant in the first handful of turns becomes irrelevant later on. You just don't have that variety later. So we're going to turn that on. It also suits me with my more narrative-focused gameplay anyway. The variety is great, but also will make it more difficult and interesting because I tend not to peace out with factions I feel I should be at war with, so we end up in many more wars that would be optimal, right? That would be strategically optimal. So yeah, having this, it means there'll be a lot more smaller factions that'll be sending little raids into our territory and stuff regularly. So I think that'll be really fun, really interesting, have a lot of variety and interest and stuff to play off. So I love that. I think this is really good. I have turned confederations off with a mod in this campaign, and I've also got the mod, the sort of post-battle options. It's called diplomatic options, vassalize, awaken, confederate, or something. It lets you basically, if you take over if you take a settlement, you can give it back to the previous owner, that kind of thing. You can bring a province back to life, essentially, and that's what we're going to be doing. We've been trying to keep all the Empire provinces going. We're not going to confederate them, we're going to try and defend them, because that'll make the endgame crises way more fun if we're having to come to the defense of things that aren't necessarily going to coordinate with us very well. Right, so it should be really fun. So I'm really looking forward to the campaign. I hope you guys are too. Elspeth Von Draken, she gets Imperial Gunnery School as a sort of unique mechanic, and another one which I'm surprised isn't mentioned here, which is odd. She has the Gardens of Moor as well. Why wouldn't that be mentioned here on this screen? A little unusual. But anyway, research rate plus 10, upkeep minus 15% for gunnery units for all armies, and double the experience gain for artillery and gunnery units, which is great for artillery. It makes them more accurate, which is incredibly powerful. Also, Lord effects. She is immune to vampiric corruption, well, so is her army, which is really good. It'd be great for invading Sylvania. Cooldown on Law of Death magic, minus 20%, and she gets Dark Walker as an ability, which is physical resist and Strider, which is pretty cool. Let's get to it.
To die is to find eternal sanctuary, safety from the horrors of this land. But to study death, to know its secrets, is to venture down a path that few dare tread. Atop her blackened tower, the graveyard rose, Elspeth Von Draken fights to protect the fallen, driving back the forces of evil. A perennial guardian of the Empire.
Beneath death's shadow, our enemies fall. The enemies of Wissenland shall embrace their mortality.
To right. So, path to victory. Magistrix Elspeth Von Draken feels the coming danger of an ancient evil stirring somewhere in the world. Everywhere, really, with the game we're playing. In service to the Elected Countess of Wissenland, she must help strengthen the Empire's borders and authority as she waits for evil to show itself. So really fun. It's going to be a fun campaign. We're going to be trying to keep our Imperial authority up by, making sure that all our allies don't lose out on their territory, which should be really fun. Should be cool. Should be cool to do. I always enjoy playing the Empire for that reason, sort of playing as an ally to the other provinces, try and keep them united, because we know that a big threat is coming. Empire provinces are always at war with each other. They're constantly bickering, little border skirmishes and things. They don't tend to play nice a lot of the time. But, Karl Franz, he knows that something terrible is looming, so he's trying to keep everyone on the same side. That's very much the sort of era that we're in. Some people know that chaos is rising. Others, they just want to make sure that they have, that they own the mine that is on the border with another nation or whatever. It's all sort of a lot of self-interest and short-term gains, So anyway, so purchase a unit upgrade at Imperial Gunnery School. We'll get to that. We're not ready to do that mechanic yet, okay? We want to do the early battles. Wissenland pride itself in sparing no expense to thwart the Empire's ever-encroaching foes. The Elected Countess decrees full access to the Imperial Gunnery School's advancements granted to you. I do love the fact it's always framed as the Elected Countess granting things in this. They don't forget that Manuel von Leibwitz is the Elected Countess of Null, even though she's not a fighter. It makes sense to have Elspeth kind of leading things because she's very powerful. It's a good character to play as, but it always still power is sort of deferred. I think it's good. I think that's really fun. I like that it doesn't forget the world. So defeat an army belonging to the Court of Night. This guy. Let's do it. Lupio Gausa can join Elspeth, so we have an engineer, which is very fun. Haven't really had much chance to play with them, in campaigns. I don't think I've done an Empire campaign since this DLC, actually. Wow. That seems silly for me, but anyway, yeah, we're doing it now. I say that. I have played through this campaign in its entirety in my own time, but, not on the channel. And that's what's important. So, we're going to fight Siegfried. So some other, fairly recent, comparatively, updates to Total War. It did make the AI in battle sort of a lot smarter and just sort of a lot better when it comes to, kind of, sort of difficulty, different difficulty settings having an impact on the competence of what you're fighting. So it's relying less on, boring static stat buffs or whatever. It relies less on that now, which I think is really, really good. But on very hard, they're quite good at flanking. They're fairly good at that. And so with this kind of army, although it's very powerful, you've got to be a little bit careful of your ranged units. You've got to be a little careful. I think you guys need to be further forward, actually. Which means you guys need to be further forward, which I think means all of you guys need to be further forward. Good, we do have spearmen on that end, which I enjoy. So by the way, if you hold Alt, you can drag your units around, and if you hold Control as well as Alt, it switches to rotate. Let go of Control, you go back to moving them around.
Skirmish must also be won, for every victory is crucial.
Okay. Should have better line of sight at everyone now. Let's go for the Crypt Horrors. Let's go for those Skeleton Warriors. There are dire wolves here, which are going to be a bit of a problem, but hopefully, spearmen and swordsmen, and probably the handgunners. Might have the handgunners try and shoot them first. I think that's probably a good shout. Let's actually get you down here too. Yeah, maybe just there is good enough. Okay, are you in range? Not quite, but you soon will be. And that's great news, although the hill is going to make shooting them a little bit iffy. Alright, are you going to be able to shoot them? You are. Good. Good. I'll just leave them to it then. Those zombies have taken some damage, and wow, okay, good. We got some good hits onto these guys. It does seem that Siegfried is healing his crypt horrors a bunch, and he is actually doing a very good job of that, but they don't have many direwolves left. Yeah, they're getting taken out pretty quickly, which is really good to see. So, love that. You can shoot there. You guys can shoot there. Let's be on guard mode, though, just in case. Just in case you lose sight of them and turn into a jerk. And, okay, you can't really shoot them from there, but that's okay. I'm actually going to use a Spirit Leech. I don't think it's necessary, but I want to clear them out as quick as I can. Alright, they're taking big damage. Love to see it. You are still shooting at them. Should probably change target, because, yeah, we're starting to hit our own guys. Just stop shooting entirely. Just stop shooting. It's fine. It's fine, really. I don't mind at all. Alright, I mind a little bit. I don't really like being here either. Oh, and you can't shoot from there, huh? Well, that's rubbish. Can you shoot them, maybe? That could be exciting. Alright, charge them, please. I think this is fine. Let's start whittling him down. And yeah, those crypt horrors. Alright, you still can't shoot, huh? You too. Oh, okay. Alright. I'm gonna be a bit cheeky here, I think. I'm gonna leave him open to get shot by everyone. I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Alright, you can charge into the rear of them. And... oh, yeah, good. That's going well. That's going very well. He's having a bad day. You can stop shooting. And yeah, it looks like everything's crumbling now. Nice. There's something very funny about just like a lone... you know, a lone enemy general and then just guns. A million guns. So, decisive victory. Yes, I think so. Marvellous. So, we got a bunch of schematics. What are they for, I hear you asking? Maybe. It's a campaign resource, which we'll take a look at in a second. I'm going to go with replenishment. Oh, I also got an item too, huh? Got an apprentice wizard, lovely. We completed a mission, also lovely. Really doesn't know which pop-up to show us, does it? Humans born with magical talent are dangerous and feared individuals. So we're going to put them in our army. Berserker sword, the blade constantly drips with blood, as if only just pulled from a corpse. Those that wield it scream with rage, demanding to feed the sword to its next victim. So what's really nice is all of the weapons, like every item that is common, uncommon, or rare, so basically everything but the unique stuff, they have all had a rework in this patch. So they're all much more interesting, much more impactful, just better. They're just better across the board. I mean, look, this is a common item, and that's pretty great. 8% weapon strength, that's going to scale wonderfully when she's on a dragon. An extra charge bonus, not that we're going to be hanging on to this, you know, but still. That is like a useful item now, which I think is great. Now we need to take Dotten back. We need Dotten back, guys. We need it back.
Von Draken.
Now let's see. Let's get you Inspiring Presence, because you don't actually need to be able to walk any further currently. All of the settlements nearby are very close together. I will increase my ability with him, though, or else I'll forget. So, let's attack Dotten back. Hey guys, we should probably fight this as well, because I want to keep casualties to a minimum. Because basically we don't have the best replenishment right now. And I want to make sure that we can just keep this army going through, like, everything. You know, we want to take a settlement every turn, pretty much. Yeah, the items getting a change is... it seems like such a small thing, but to me, it's massive. Like, it means everything. Because it suddenly means that game 1, 2, and 3 items are all consistent. Because, like, generally there's been a bit of a power creep. And I hate to use the term power creep, because everyone always uses it to mean the new stuff is better than the old stuff, but then it's all been nerfed before the next lot of content comes out anyway. So, like, it doesn't remain powerful, so it's not power creep, it's just... when people are buying new things, they would rather it be, like, useful and interesting and fun to use, rather than undertuned and it be, like, really disappointing. You know, you don't want to be disappointed by something you just bought, so it makes sense that they start off powerful and then hone it once they get more data in. You know, that's just good game design. But anyway, there is a bit of a power creep when it comes to, like, items. So, like, the older items are all crap, frankly. You know, they're really bad. They're just not very exciting. Not very powerful. They're just bad. Let's aim for them. I'm going to shoot these guys. And yeah, we can get some really good damage at these guys in a minute. They're not going to be very useful in a second, though. You know, before too long, our artillery isn't going to shoot down this hill very well. Which is why aiming for the flying units is probably a good chance. So, you know, let's hope that's the case. Do you need to kill them in a hurry? I think we are going to need to, you know, maybe curl these around. I can always flank if they don't run into... Are you joking? You're already trying to fire directly at them. What is wrong with you? Man. Sometimes I swear, like, Hellblaster volley guns are the dumbest things in the world. Alright, who can I shoot? These skeleton warriors, sure. Or these ones, actually, would be good. Yeah, I don't like them running off over there. And, okay, that is actually their lord. And, yeah, I just want to get some damage into them, really. I think everyone else can get handled pretty well. And I'm going to point everyone over here. Because I am worried about these artillery pieces. Alright, they're changing their mind, which is a bit annoying, because it means they're coming nearer our other boys. And yep, I know I got him out in the middle of nowhere on his own, but he can handle fighting all these zombies and things for quite a while. So this gives me more time to, you know, to adjust. And can I get a Spirit Leech on them? Maybe one day. Alright, start shooting. We need these bats killed. And good, we can charge them too. Alright, good. They're having a real bad time. And he's fine. Yeah, didn't I tell you? They're not going to be particularly useful soon. Alright, let's... Ooh, I was going to say, let's stop shooting with them for a second. You know, I think we're actually going to suffer much higher casualties than I was hoping for. Because he's taking some damage now. Can we move forwards here? Ah, good. You can get some shots in. No, you can't. Look, can you or can't you? And just put you on fire at will. Same with you guys. Let's aim there. Try and clip their wings. And yeah, he's fine. And what are you aiming for? What are you doing? You weirdos. Alright, good. Good. Yeah, they really did big damage to the side there. So that's fine. Everything else will break pretty quickly. Okay, you can start shooting through these guys. Alright, let's wait for another Spirit Leech and hit him again. Ah, good. Yeah, let's start creeping you around. We dealt with those wolves. Oh, anyone shooting? You're not shooting. You guys are. Plinking away at these guys, that's fine. Let's get another Spirit Leech over here. Alright, you can charge into there. He has actually taken a lot more damage than I thought he would. Just because the bats, really. When he's fighting, you know, I had him sort of in an area where he could fight zombies and things, and just sort of waste everyone's time, but, you know, now that he's fighting the bats, they could do some okay damage. Not okay for us, obviously. There we go. There's the crumble. Alright, I think we spread out our damage well enough that replenishment should, you know, keep everyone fairly healthy. Okay. So, let's occupy this, because, you know, that's our job. Let's start getting some extra upgrades. We're going to turn the shooting range into a firearms academy so we can get handgunners and outriders and witch hunters. Amazing. And yeah, we have Dottenbach. Lovely. And we've got a spotter's spyglass, which gives us forest spotting, which is pretty damn useful for us, actually. Yeah, that's pretty handy. And defense chance for ambushes. I'm pretty sure that bush is a green skin, actually. What makes you say that, sir? It's got big green legs. That's very good. I don't think I'd read this before. Did they change some of the text as well? I hope they did, because that'd be great. So yeah, maintain Wissenland. We need to take Wissenberg to get Wissenland, so that's fine. Cool. Now let's level you up. I'm going to go with Pistol Core, more missile strength. Even though technically the best thing to do if you want to get the most out of your missile troops is actually to buff your melee troops, which sounds really counterintuitive, but basically if your melee troops are holding the line for much longer, then you get to shoot more. And getting like an extra couple of whole, like entire volleys off into enemies is far better than doing an extra like 4% damage with the volleys you are able to get. So, you know, you can actually do a hell of a lot more work if you do Emperor's Finest rather than Pistol Core. But I'm leaning into the flavour. I just want our missiles to be as good as possible, as quickly as possible, even if it means our front line crumbles and then the enemy are just sort of, you know, walking across open field trying to push against the volleys of pistol fire, you know? Should be fun. So, let's also get... yeah, guns. More guns. We're getting all the guns. Okay, all of the guns. Now, guns. More guns. Thank you. So pistoliers might be useful. It might be handy. It might be nice to have something that can harry the enemy a bit. But I do also kind of want something that is sort of a front line, but sort of just shoots things. So I think we want our infantry base to be mostly free company. Right. Also, technology. I'm going to start, actually, with something a bit bizarre. We're going to go Teachings of Teclis. So this is going to give us extra 25% for all spellcasters. Our Lord is a spellcaster, so logically, I'm assuming, unless for some weird reason it doesn't count, it means we'll be able to get a Legendary Lord leveled up really quickly, get loads of campaign buffs for her army, just, you know, get her on a dragon quicker, just turn it into an absolute monster 25% quicker. Pretty good, right? I think so. I think that's the way to go. Then we're going to do the sensible things like grain silos for growth, supply wagons for extra trade, continuous production for cheaper buildings, and then probably just like loads of missile and artillery bonuses, and maybe even more machines later if we want to get a bunch of steam tanks. Advisor to Null is also really good, by the way, to get early. This gives you extra schematics, which are useful for the mechanic I'm about to show you. Hooray! Gunnery School. So this is her unique mechanic. When you get schematics, you can then spend them on improving your all your gunpowder units, basically. So there are different tiers as well that we will slowly level through. The more upgrades you do, basically, it'll start to level up. So what is it you need to do? We need to get we need to upgrade handgunners, build a firearms academy, which we are currently doing, and we need to do 3 upgrades of any kind. So fine. Oh, hang on, that's maintain units, not upgrade them. So yeah, have 3 handgunners. So have 3 handgunners, a firearms academy, and do any 3 of these upgrades, basically. We're going to start with this one, I think, because Monstrous Impact, reduce speed and charge for great cannon units. Well, you know, they hit an enemy and the enemy gets the reduced speed and charge. That, I think, is the best thing we can get, because it means if there is anything scary on the battlefield, it's going to be the cannons pointed at it, and if we can slow it down, it means we can shoot it for longer, and it'll be longer before it can actually get into the fight and contribute in any way. So that, I think, is much better than just anything doing a bit more damage or whatever. So we're going to do that. So the Great Cannon is widely feared for the ease with which it rips apart flesh and armor alike. It's simple engineering, easily modified by the school's designs to magnify its devastation. Lovely. Really cool UI and everything here. I love it. So, we also got given a prototype field coat, Mark 24. Prototype Field Coat Mark 24 is the future of projectile-proof battleware. Unlike the Mark 23, this version doesn't catch fire when struck. Oh, good. Good. We should give that to someone. And yep, we did get a gunnery unit, which is why we got the item.
Dark Lady
So let's
of
give you the
Nuln.
coat, because you're an engineer, you should have the engineer thing. So you get extra ammo, and you get missile and fire resistance as well. And yeah, we've got ancillaries equipped. So we are looking
Blows
pretty
me
good.
hither.
You know, even with our
The
weird jester
graveyard
shoes that she insists on
rose.
wearing. Really is
Amethyst
quite silly.
Magistrix.
Okay, I think we're good then. I think we did a turn. Well done, everyone. You made it.
Elite troops and potent weaponry, honed and enchanted in the gunnery school, shall bolster our strength.
Too right. So, build a livery. We can do that. Null is known to many as the jewel of the Empire, and not without good reason. As the Empire's industrial as well as cultural heartland, this sprawling city contains many manufactories, providing heavy weapons, munitions, and ordnance. In addition to the Imperial Gunnery School, whose role is it to train the Emperor's arterialists in the ways of modern mechanized warfare. I love how it's all very modern, and yet it's like so many like old, like old words in here. Arterialists and things. I'm sure someone from like, I don't know, from the British Army will chime in and go, oh, by the way, no, we still use the word arterialist. You know, but whatever. There are some, however, who believe that only a fraction of Null's potential is currently being exploited. The rulers of the Empire have demanded the development of a new cavalry doctrine, so Theodore Bruckner may join Imperial armies in the field. View this as an opportunity for Null to further earn its already well-deserved title of Bastion of the South. So Theodore Bruckner is a legendary hero, so we'll try and get him at some point. He loves cavalry, loves them. Can't get enough of them. You know, we get some horses and he'll be like, ooh, what a lovely horse, and he'll come join our army. There you go. That's my lore for today. You're welcome. The Imperial Gunnery School possesses many schematics meant to improve a weapon's firepower. It would be worth acquiring some, though the designs are as expensive as they are useful. So upgrade the Gunnery School to Tier 2, which is, of course, you know, do all these quests. You know, do these quests that we saw earlier, which, you know, we'll manage. Rewards. Experimental Explosive Ancillary. Unlocks Tier 2 upgrades, and recruitment cost, minus 10% for gunnery units. So, cool stuff. Cool stuff all around. You leveled up for some reason. Let's get you boost income. I know at some point we'll make him better at fighting things. So, Bernard von Dial, we need to...
Dark Lady of Nuln.
we need to deal with Dial. Yeah. Someone tell me, actually, that's pronounced deal. Which is probably true. We need to deal with Deal. Anyway, we're going to deal with Deal. Hello, Bernard. Look, that guy doesn't look like a Bernard, does he? Doesn't look like a Bernard. I'd say more of a Rupert. Let's fight him. Okay, so...
Elspeth Von
that is not a
Draken.
formation, guys. Come on. Be sensible. Be sensible, guys. Let's put our militia on the edges. They might have a tough
The
time
graveyard rose.
fighting for a little while, but that's not going to matter.
Elspeth Von
Because,
Draken.
oh, I don't know, something, presumably. But it'll be great. So, if they could deal with the things on the sides, which, you know, if they push in, we can then shoot into the sides of them, freeing them up in order for them to walk around and flank. And that should do some great work for us. I'm a little worried about having anything in front of these guys, honestly. They just love to shoot their own guys. I swear they used to have like a better firing arc, but now I don't know. Now I don't know anymore. So let's shoot these guys. It'll slow them down as we shoot them as well, which is nice. And yeah, same for those. These. Okay, they're all already trying to avoid the rockets, which they're doing tremendously well. But that's okay. That's fine. That's fine. I didn't want to kill them anyway. But it's mostly zombies, which is good news. You know, apart from these warriors, which we're getting some work into. Those spearmen we should be able to handle relatively well.
The Dark Lady of Nuln.
Let's bring you over here. Yeah, maybe just here so you can shoot into their side. Oh, they do have some dire wolves. That's very dire. That's very wolves. Alright, I want you to shoot the bats as well. Just, like, stopping the enemy from being able to get into, you know, into the front line would be great. In fact, shoot those spearmen. Let's try and clip their wings there. It does seem they're trying to push more units over here to flank as well, so if you could shoot them. Can't quite. Never mind. Oh no, you're getting some shots in, which is nice to see. And come on, get some good shots here, yeah? Oh, there we go. That's more like it. Alright, now shoot these wolves. I'm going to have to definitely change your mind quite quickly. But that's okay. Maybe. Alright, come on. You can shoot them, right? You can shoot them. Look at how spread out they are. Just bizarrely. What a strange shot, you guys. Slide there. Weird. Okay, shoot them, maybe. Maybe I can hit them there. Okay, well this sucks. Look at all this. Look at you guys flanking. Who need to learn how to fight battles? This isn't fair. Isn't fair at all. Okay, and this is a bit annoying too, they're flanking. Alright, come on, let's handle them. And yeah, this is bad too. So's all of this actually. Maybe you should stop shooting, just a hunch. Alright, you just keep running this way. And you also run this way, because I'm not that worried about skeleton boys. But yeah, the damage they're doing to our great cannons is abysmal. Can you maybe shoot something? Yeah, they're definitely a lot better at flanking than they used to be. I'd be mad, but I'm kind of glad that they're better at that. Ooh, they broke too. Alright, let's aim here. Alright, just aim on that corner. Thank you! Thank you. And, okay, they're dead too. Good. Alright, a little all over the place, but generally pretty good. Alright, we've got great cannons. Can you shoot over here? I'm gonna pull you guys back. Alright, I can have everyone turn this way and start firing into this way. I'm gonna start trying to kill him too. Marvellous. Alright, start shooting these zombies. Marvellous. Love to see it. Alright, let's get you back into the fight. And I think you're probably done, guys. I think you're probably done. Let's just pull you back, maybe. And yeah, it's quite a fun one. It's quite a fun one, I think. Interesting battle. Alright, let's pull you guys back. Alright, you can stop him, right? Oh, they're nearly done. He's a problem, but, you know, for how long? I don't know. Maybe not that long. And alright, finish them off in a hurry, yeah? Because I need you all guys shooting him, because those swordsmen aren't going to last. Okay, perfect.
Battle protocols.
I think that'll probably do it.
Elspeth Von Draken.
Standing by.
Alright, now you guys can run the hell away. And you can try and get a cheeky flank, so that's perfect. Let's see. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Big damage. Very big damage. Alright, attaboy. Attaboy. Yeah, he didn't like that. Yeah, something about just taking half his health off in a single volley. He really got upset about it. Good stuff. Got more schematics. Got a city. They're useful. Yeah, we have Wissenland. So we have Wissenland, and they paid us for it too. I mean, I'd pay them to get the province, honestly. So absolute bargain. Glittering scales, that's going to lower enemy melee attack, which is very handy for keeping our
Elspeth
boys
Von Draken,
going. So should we give that to Elspeth?
Amethyst Guardian.
I think I'm going to, yes. And I guess we could give her the spyglass as well,
I must keep my weakness for
because she might be
arcane
flying around
trinkets
on a dragon at some point. So, you know, she will be sort of our
Lady
scout.
Shaiish.
So cool. Light College Acolyte, good. Lowering enemy corruption, that's nice to see. And issue a commandment. We get
Wielder
Scroll
of
of
the
Blast
Pale
that has
Side.
actually been upgraded a little bit. It gives extra targeting range for spells, which is really cool. Just nice extra bonuses for these items that used to be a bit meh. You know, that augments you as a spellcaster as well as giving you a bound spell. I absolutely love that. Really good stuff. Just, yeah, all the items are like that now. They just have like a little extra fun thing. Yeah, do I get Emperor's Finest now? I'm starting to think maybe we should have done things smartly, but then I think better of it and go all in on shooting stuff.
Extract them.
Alright, Survivalist. That'll do. That'll do.
Dark Lady
Now, let's get
of
more guns. More guns, please. And then we're going to move on to Fyldorf, which is another capital, so it's actually going to be, you know, a little bit tougher. Isn't it? We're going into Solent.
Rider of the Dragon.
Now, what's next? I mean, growth sounds ideal, which is why I'm going to get it. Good.
For Nuln's
Good stuff. And I think that's that. I think that's that. Let's check, actually. How are we doing? We have 147. We need, what, 350? Yeah, we need 350 to really do anything. So let's crack on. Okay, we did a mission. We did a mission for the gunnery school. Lovely. So we got the Firearms Academy. What does that leave us? That leaves us with the get 3 handgunners and do 2 more upgrades. We are really low on schematics, so that's going to take the most time. But actually, saying that, hang on. If we get 3 handgunners, we get 250 schematics, which will almost pay for an upgrade on handgunners, say. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Amethyst Mage.
Now, I do wonder, do we actually want to get a couple of handgunners now to tick that off the list? I think maybe. I think we want to get a couple more handgunners and some mortars. I'd like to get some mortars before I attack these guys. This guy is going to be recruiting units, which is going to make this siege more difficult, but mortars are going to make it much easier. And I think it'll be more fun. So we are actually going to delay a bit. I know I'm using global. Actually, they only take 1 turn. But then we'll still be down. Alright, I'm going to do 1. I'm going to do 1, okay? We're recruiting 1 from global. And then I'm going to recruit another 2 next turn. So it'll be like 3 turns before we attack, which is a bit annoying. But, you know, fine overall. I think we can wait a little bit just to have a more interesting siege battle. One thing I also should have done is I should have got rid of that. We should have built another resource building to get marble there. Should have done that. So we've got the teachings of Teclis. Teclis. Why can't I speak? Look, it's a hot day, alright? It's a miracle I've made it this far into this episode. So the Warden of the White Tower is known to many as the most powerful wizard the mortal world has ever seen. Fortunately, he imparts his wisdom gladly. Very cool, although he's potentially quite controlling as well. So Teclesian theory is the sort of the teachings that all of all the sort of imperial the what do they call it? You know, the imperial colleges of magic. They all adhere to that because it was Teclis who founded it in the days of Magnus the Pious. They destroyed chaos, and then Teclis was like, "So, magic's actually really good, mate. You should probably be using that." And then that's when wizards became like a sanctioned thing. But Teclis made sure that every wizard would only learn 1 law of magic. Okay, you can't have them learning loads of different ones. If you're channeling too much magic, humans aren't that great at channeling magic. They are more likely to, explode or, turn into a chaos mutant or, spawn demons out of their eyes or something horrible. So, one wind of magic, okay? Just focus on 1. And that's something that Teclis pushed for everybody to avoid, corruption spreading and it becoming too dangerous for humans to do that. But, he saw that there is definitely value in humans adopting wizardry. So, kind of cool. But, you know, maybe he just wants to make sure the humans don't get too big for their boots. Just saying. So, your handgunner program has given the gunnery school a batch of new cadets eager to learn in the field. Let us hope their enthusiasm lasts. Too right. So, let's queue up a couple more mortars. And I would love to swap out all of these guys for free company, so we're like all guns all the time. But yeah, I don't want to waste too much more time after this. So let's actually upgrade Wissenland, because it's more on the border. So I think that's probably worth upgrading first. And let's queue up some more technology. So I was really hoping to get one of these. I really was. Whoops, I meant to click on tech tier again. Yeah, I was really hoping to get one of these, like, expensive things. But I guess we're not doing that. I guess we're being sensible and just going grain silos so we get extra growth and replenishment. Which, to be fair, those are both incredibly important things that, ideally, you get first in a campaign. But, you know, I'm trying to lean into the flavour of this one. Gardens are more unlocked. Brilliant. So this is perfect. I was hoping to have this by the end of the episode. It's part of the reason I was dragging my feet. So when the Cult of Moor establishes new gardens, Elspeth is given the opportunity to establish new towers in return for her aid in times of need. So Gardens of Moor is what they call graveyards. Moor is the god of death. They refer to graveyards as his gardens, which I think is so cool. It's such like a poetic like flourish for the game. I think it's, you know, for the setting. I think it's really, really charming.
The Gardens of Moor are bastions of solitude in this dark world, where my arcane research and rapid transposition are made manifest.
Too right. So, Almighty Moor demands respect. Moor demands more respect, is what he does. Wherever his cultists reside, a garden temple of tombs ought to be worthy act of worship, with a tower at its heart, steeped in the magic of death. So, yeah, gain 80 authority. We're working on that too, don't worry. And we get Magistrix Protects. Yeah, the Empire would like us if we do this. Good. As our foes grow stronger, so too must the Imperial cause. As the Emperor's authority is bound to his dominance over the rightful lands, it is every able servant's role to expand that authority at any cost. Too right. So, I want to make sure that you have a stone cutter there now, so we can get that marble. And now, Gardens of Moor. So it can be quite boring. We're just going to build a garden in Null. So we can always return home, but you can build them sort of anywhere you've discovered. Which reminds me, I should start doing some treaties with our neighbours, actually. It's kind of ridiculous that we haven't already. But, you know, whenever I'm playing a campaign on YouTube, I always get distracted with, you know, the minutiae in a way that I normally wouldn't. But anyway, it's not your fault. It's a me problem. It's a me problem. So we're going to build a new garden, right? So this is something we can build 5 of, and you can teleport to them, which is very cool. They also give, like, interesting bonuses, like big garrison bonuses. Well, we'll see, won't we? So we're going to build one in Nuln, just so I can make sure Nuln is absolutely, like, our capital in every way, you know. So we get As the Dragon Flies, which makes Gardens of Moor fast travel cost goes down. We don't need to fast travel here. It doesn't matter. This is kind of pointless. We won't get the benefit of that. So when I first played this campaign, I made a garden. Like, I think it was, like, up in, it was up here somewhere. Talabheim, maybe? And I just teleported here and wiped out Festus as, like, my first thing to do, because victory conditions, wipe out the Fecundites in Sylvania. So I was able to wipe him out really early, then teleport back and deal with, deal with Sylvania afterwards. Which was great, because if you deal with them early, then you tend to have a bunch of, factions up here remain alive, which really helps keep your authority up. So it's not a bad idea, but I'm trying to build my home base up and, expand a bit more slowly in this campaign. I'm not trying to speed run the victory conditions here, but yeah, we will want to deal with him at some point. So, we have a garden in Null. Elspeth has long-standing alliances with the Cult of Moor. With each new gardens, she erects a new tower that she might call home. Use Garden Moor to travel, and gains a bunch of money, which, yeah, we can do at some point, but, it'll be nice that we'll just get a payday when we do come to it. The Black Tower rises from the earth like a beacon, a looming symbol of arcane power. Moor bids you travel between these beacons of Shyish. Shyish being the magic word for that one's magic. Magic with a K. CK, it's magic. ending in CK. That's like the language of magic. And Shaiish is what is the, you know, the official name for the Lord of Death, you know, for the Wind of Death, rather. So, cool. To better study the dark secrets of death magic within his welcoming embrace. Cool. So, Poof Gardens of more. So we start with this, which gives us a couple of halberdiers. And also immune to diplomatic penalties from trespassing against region owner, because you don't have to build them in your own territory. Allows Elspeth to fast travel to this location. Very useful. Enables replenishment of foreign territory. So basically, we can make a bunch of areas. You know, maybe... I mean, Altdorf's very close to Nuln, but it feels important to put one there. Maybe we do one in Marienburg. You know, another one in Middenheim. And perhaps the last one in, like, Wolfenburg? Maybe we even put it in Kislev, actually, or Prague. You know? Because, like, hopefully we've got to keep these guys alive for the Chaos Invasion. You know? Ally with Kislev and make a garden of more there so we can help out. I think that'd be pretty cool. But anyway, you get to build a special building. Just one. But you can pick your poison. So this one gives you Amethyst Wizards, and you get extra capacity, so we get a couple of wizards out early. It also puts up Winds of Magic Power Reserve faction-wide, so if you build one of these in all 5 of your gardens, then that's an extra 50 Winds of Magic Power Reserve for all of your wizards, which is pretty amazing. That's a really cool thing to go all in on. But the other buildings are really cool too, so it's tough. Also, Winds of Magic Power Reserve plus 20 per turn for armies in that region. Again, really powerful. This one unlocks recruitment of the Knights of More Electocount state troops and mercenary replenishment time minus 10% for Knights of More. So again, if you went all in on this, you could get a Knight of More unit every 5 turns, which would be pretty cool, right? Also, Vigor Loss Reduction, minus 20% for fighting against all undead factions for all armies, so you could actually basically have perfect Vigor. Kind of. You could kind of sort of have perfect Vigor. I think there are still ways you can lose Vigor if it's minus 100%, and I think actually it might be 90% might be the max, because most effects cap out at 90, so it might not quite work out, but basically fighting undead you're going to be, you know, fighting fit for a long time, which is really cool. Also has a really good garrison here. Halberdiers, archers, Knights of More. Good stuff. And then finally, this one, which gives you a lot of recruitment for Halberdiers, archers, Empire Knights, and mortars. Sorry, no, that's the garrison. It unlocks recruitment of Halberdiers, handgunners, Empire Knights, Knights of the Black Rose, and mortars. That is a really good selection, because this means we don't need to get the melee building chain, because all I want is Halberdiers. We just have a front line of Halberdiers, or maybe some free company as well. But generally, it's going to be Halberdiers because they hold the line so damn well, and then we just have a bunch of stuff behind them, blasting everything to bits. Sounds good, right? Also puts upkeep down in all armies in local and adjacent regions. Puts global recruitment duration down for armies in the region. It puts up global recruitment capacity. So, you know, with the big garrison and the good recruitment, this is really good to put out as like an outpost, you know, wherever. So you can have armies stationed in sort of other territories, and you can, you know, recruit actually pretty good armies. Like, just from that, you can make an amazing army. That's really balanced. So I really like that. We're going to get it here as well, so we can recruit, you know, our best army from here. We might, you know, destroy that and build something else later, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So, you know what? I think we're out of time for this episode, but next episode, we're going to take down Dolf von Senkhoff, which is going to be very difficult. This is quite a big army now. Bats are a bit annoying. Dire wolves, you know, fine. Like, a lot of this stuff isn't going to be a big problem while we're attacking. Actually, I say that, but I think the enemy AI has got a lot smarter at sending things like Felbats out to go attack your artillery when you're sieging a place. I think I have had that happen to me in previous battles. See, this is what I mean about like all the changes recently. It's a lot less predictable now, and that makes the game way more interesting. You have to do things that feel like the obvious things to do, when before I wouldn't do the obvious things because I knew that the enemy would never do the obvious, because they just weren't smart enough to do the obvious thing. So it's really interesting to have to play differently nowadays. I love it. It is really, yeah, it's come a long way. Guys, if you're enjoying this, please do comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.
The graveyard rose. Elspeth Von Draken fights to protect the fallen, driving back the forces of evil.